Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you taking your time out of your day to watch my channel, the old pig sticker channel. This weekend I had our Tri-State Bass Club tournament on Beaver, and I stuck a pig. I mean a pig. If you look on my my Facebook and Instagram pages, you'll be able to see a picture of it. Anyway, everybody thought it was going to weigh between 7 and 8, but it was 6. It had the 8-pound body, just didn't have the belly to support the 8-pound body right now. It's the middle of summer, and their metabolisms are high, and so he wasn't as fat as normal. Anyway, it was a giant, especially for Beaver Lake. They asked when I got to the weigh-in with it, I pulled my weigh-in bag, had my weigh-in bag, and he said, "You got a big bass over 3 pounds you want to weigh?" And I was like, "I think this one might go 3 pounds." And I pulled that thing out of the bag, and everybody there gasped. They was like, "Oh my God." And they was like, "Yeah, that's over 3 pounds." And anyway, everybody's calling me the pig sticker and the big show. My nickname for a long time has been Pig Sticker, and that's where I got name for the channel. Everybody always waits and sees what I have when I weigh in for big fish, because they always say I've got a big one. Anyway, a recap of Beaver tournament. If I had one more fish, I'd have won it. I was close enough to win, but just needed one more fish to get the weight to win. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I got 3rd place in big bass. Anyway, I just want to go over the baits that we used on Beaver, and maybe help you catch more fish on Beaver Lake. Can't get the sun just right. The sun's right there, just almost in my face. First bait I was using was an old monster tequila sunrise. Caught some small fish on it, nothing to brag about. The next bait that I used, where I caught more fish on, I caught the most fish on this plum old monster worm, and I did have a few fish on the plum old monster. Noisy trucks. Plum old monster motor oil. But for the last 2 months, the old Zoom old monster plum has been my main worm. That's the main one I throw in the summertime. A lot of people throw the plum apple, but I have more luck with the plum. When I had the Bull Shoals tournament last month on Bull Shoals, of course, caught all of our fish on the plum old monster and the strawberry old monster. But anyway, back to the Beaver tournament. We caught most of our fish on those worms, along with I caught the pig on True Faith Custom Baits football jig. This is the bluegill color. I also had a Zoom Z-Craw on it. Trailer. I just thread that Z-Craw on the hook. Thread the Z-Craw on the hook just like this. Thread it up and over. And that's what you got right there. It's a great crawdad imitator, and And this color here is a great bluegill imitator. This, ouch, this Z-Craw is the huckleberry color. It works perfectly to match this jig. I also have I'll show the other trailer I like to use on it as well. It's from Big Bite Baits. It's a fighting frog, that's what they call it, but it's more of a crawdad shape worm or craw. And the True Faith Custom Bait Buzz Bait. This is the mouse color. It's a great color. And that trailer that I got on it is a Big Bite Bait little minnow type trailer in black and gold. Black and gold. Can't remember what they call it. But it's one of their. Take it off so you can see what it looks like. So you can look it up online on the Big Bite Bait website. See what it is. Anyway, it's that right there. Little black and gold shad shaped piece of plastic. It's got the little tail. And it doesn't take much to make the thing move, as you can see. It's black and gold. And that's the trailer that I had on my buzz bait. We caught some on the buzz bait. And then I had all of my plastics, my worms, big worms, Texas rig. Come here. With a 3/16 sinker, Wicked Weights 3/16 sinker. And this is a number 4/0 or 5/0. I don't remember which now. It's either 4 or 5/0. Can't think of the last name of the hook company. Anyway, I really like that hook. It's coated. It's got a coating on it. It makes it slicker, easier to get penetration into the fish's mouth. Berkeley makes the Fusion. It's a good one. Let me open up my box over here and I'll tell you what it is. VMC, yeah, VMC makes those hooks that I was using, and they're special coated. It's the red line. It's the red line of hooks. It's their new line. It's kind of expensive, but they're really good hooks. The Berkeley Fusions are cheaper, and they're a good hook. I used the 3/16 weight because there wasn't much wind, and I was fishing. I was only fishing down to 20, 25 feet. Takes a little bit for it to get down there sometimes, but as long as you don't have much wind, it's well worth the weight. Being able to use the 3/16 weight. I try to use the lightest sinker as I can. A lot of people likes the bigger sinker. Myself, I prefer the lightest that I can get by with. Not very often I go above a 1/4 ounce weight. If I'm fishing really deep, I go to a 1/4. If it's really windy, I can go to a 1/4 or 3/8. If I'm fishing really deep and it's really windy, I use 3/8 or 1/2 ounce. The lightest hook you can get by with, or the lightest sinker, I'm sorry, the lightest sinker you can get by with, the better. I'm going to show you real quick how I tie my hooks on the fluorocarbon. This is the knot that I use in my fluorocarbon. I use Palomar knot on monofilament. Top waters, you want to use monofilament because this fluorocarbon will sink. You double your line, double it up just like I have right here. You can see that it's double, and I put it through the eye of the hook doubled. So then what you do, you bring it up, you get a hold of your hook, and get a hold of both of your tag, these ends right here, and you want to go around 3 times. 1, 2, 3, and then bring it back through this loop right there above your, bring it back through that loop that you left right there at your hook. And you always want to wet it so it doesn't get a friction burn. And you just pull it tight. That's a very good strong hook for fluorocarbon, or a very good strong knot for fluorocarbon. Can't talk today apparently. Anyway, then you're left with 3 tags you got to cut off. You got that left and this long tag left. You'll cut them down real close to the knot. Always use scissors or clippers to cut your line with. I've bit my line for years and years, and my teeth right here is kind of messed up because of it. I should have listened to my mom and dad not to do that. Like most kids, I didn't, and I wish I would have. So maybe you all listen to me and don't bite your line. Anyway, that's how I tie. Oops, I forgot to show you how. I forgot to show you Texas rigging again. What you want to do when you Texas rig, take your worm, hook, run it in about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Bring it up, you're hooking over. This worm's let me find a better worm. This is kind of messed up. One that's not quite so tore up. This works. Alright, what you want to do, that was messed up pretty bad too. We'll try this one. Alright. I was about to top off of it. That'll help. Okay. Put it in 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch or so. Run it up. And this is an extra wide gap hook, an EWG hook. I use EWG most times. Sometimes I'll use straight shank hooks, especially if I'm flipping into heavy brush along the bank. I use a straight shank hook. But for the most part, this extra wide gap hook is what I use most of the time. Straight shank hook doesn't have this bend in it. It's just as it says, straight shank. And after you get it up on here like this, you measure down here to the bottom of your hook, and that's where you want your hook point to go back in your worm. Then you thread it back up on here. And then you wanna make sure the point of your hook is able to come out easy. You wanna go ahead and tear that plastic a little bit so it come out easy. Then you can expose it right back in there, right back in the plastic. And there you go. You got a perfectly straight worm. And when the fish bites it, since you tore that plastic, the fish will bite it. You set the hook, and that hook pops right out. Comes out to the fish's mouth, and you got him. Anyway, that's my recap for Beaver Lake this weekend. And like I said, I caught a pig. He had an 8-pound body, but didn't have the belly to make him 8 pounds. So anyway, he was a good fish. I got big bass, got paid, and that's what you're aiming for, is to get paid at the end of the tournament. So I did my job and got her done. Another bait that I used was a swing head, True Face custom bait swing head, but really didn't have that much luck on it. I was using the old big bite fighting frog. It's kind of like you Texas rig them on here. You just run it through there, up the bait. And I gotta put it on there right. It ain't gonna work. And you know how I just showed you how Texas rig you. Put it on the bait, run it up the old wobble head, up there above the little deal. There we go. This hook's too big for this little piece of worm, so it's not straight. But anyway, these fighting frogs, or this is not fighting frog, this is a Zoom Z-craw, but fighting frogs and these Z-craws both have a little indention in the middle of them, and that's where your hook can lay in there, and so you don't have to yank your hook through plastic, so it makes it easier to get a hook set. But anyway, the old True Face custom bait wobble head. Like I said, I didn't really do much good on it. I had a lot of bluegill bites on it, but that was it. I was going to show you that other fighting frog too as well. This other fighting frog. This other fighting frog is the perfect match to my True Face custom bait football head in the bluegill color. It's got all the bluegill colors in it, kind of some blues and purples and orange flake and green pumpkin color. It is a really, really good color. Las Vegas Flash, I believe is what they call that color. As you can tell, I use a lot of them. I got in a gallon Ziploc bag. Carry them in a gallon Ziploc bag. I got my big bite bait fighting frog tilapia color in a Ziploc bag. And I carry my smoked purple tubes in a Ziploc bag because I use a lot of all three of these baits. I try to have a Ziploc bag full of them at the beginning of the season. And usually I can make a season last out of a gallon bag full of it. But anyway, there's the baits I used, and I was fishing standing timber, brush piles, and rock piles. That's where we caught all of our fish, was around standing timber, brush piles, and rock piles. Of course, the jig and the worm, I just throw it out there, let go of the bottom, and just slowly pull along the bottom. There's a few times I hopped the worm. I'd raise the worm up from like 9 o'clock position to 11 o'clock position, let it go up and fall, And I did my jig a little bit like that, but it seems like they wanted it more slowly pulling it across the bottom. You just have to see what the fish wants. It's kind of like a sinker thing. I use as small a sinker as I can. Sometimes the fish wants the bait falling faster. So sinker to make it fall faster. And sometimes fish want you to be popping the bait up off the bottom. Sometimes they just want you to raise it up real slow and let it fall down. And other times they want you to slowly pull it. And like the swing head jig, a lot of times they just want you to just slow reeling it across the bottom. As long as you're making bottom contact with the rocks. Looks like a crawfish crawling through the rocks, and they just want you to slow reeling it. So anyway, there's my video for today, and I'll get you another video here in the next few days. So if you need anything, drop me a comment. Have any questions, drop me a comment. Hit the like and share button, and help me share my page and get it growing. Anyway, y'all have a great, blessed weekend and week, and I will talk to you later.